Nikki Haley saw the biggest bounce of any Republican candidate following the recent debate. And now that people are starting to take her seriously, they have questions about her massive sudden wealth. It's a crazy story. There's no way to ignore. She had literally no assets. She had no meaningful investments before. She was $1 million in debt, $1 million arguably in debt. She had $15,000 in her bank account, and she goes from pauper to millionaire. And you know how? Because she's the darling of the weapons industry. She's the person pushing Ukraine. She would invade Iran tomorrow if we gave her the opportunity. She wants to be president. She would be a war horse for the weapons industry. That's where she's made all this money.
Absolutely. And it's important that people understand this wasn't, oh, she made this money over 20 years. We're talking about within the last 5 or 6 years. Because she left the Trump administration either late 2017 or early 2018. And at that point, that's when she had $15,000, didn't own a home. And then suddenly, all these defense contractors and these defense groups said, hey, Nikki Haley, you don't have a job right now. Come sit on this board and we'll give you $300,000 a year. Come sit on this board, we'll give you $700,000 a year, even though you have no experience here, you have no expertise. But one of them was Boeing, where she sat on the board. And she did get called out for that. In the debate, Ramaswamy hit at her pretty hard when she was talking about all the foreign wars she would start. He said, I hope you enjoy your position on the Boeing and Lockheed boards.
She's living, before all this starts, she's living in a rental home, 2,000 square foot home, basically, rented. And now she's living in a $5 million mansion. What happened? What happened was she became the war pimp for the weapons industry. She's always talking about more money to Ukraine. Oh, we need to, matter of fact, she's on a board, this really interesting board, that their whole focus is, how do we start a war with Iran? Is there any other way to describe it?
No, that is exactly how it's been described. Because that's what they do. They look at this and they try to hype up, oh, Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon. If not tomorrow, then maybe next week or the week after, we've got to do something. But while she was ambassador to the UN, obviously she's making connections with all these other countries. So she's good friends with these other ambassadors. So how is that valuable to the weapons industry? Well, okay, you come sit on our board. Hey, remember your friend over in Saudi Arabia? Why don't you call them up? We're trying to move some excess product over here. Why don't you call your friends over in Germany or call your friends in France, see if they want some of this material. She has the connections through the United Nations, her role there, which again was only a year.
Right.
But it was enough to get her these wonderful jobs.
Well, again, you wonder why these old folks stay. 81, 82, 84, all these old politicians. Because it's a big money maker. And if you look at, she's no different. And there's no distinction. Everybody wants, the Democrats are so different than the Republicans in that regard. Nonsense. She's a classic example of why these folks get into this business. You know what really killed me? She's talking about, Putin and Ukraine, and he's such an awful person. What about Saudi Arabia? When she's put on the spot, what about Saudi Arabia? The Khashoggi incident. Saudi Arabia killed 3,000 Americans on American soil. Saudi Arabia is killing immigrants at the border, mowing them down with machine guns, throwing mortars at them and blowing them up as they're trying to come across the border. She knows all this, but she says, now the crown prince there, he's different than Putin. Really? And that's how she tries to justify everything she does. She is nothing more than a war pimp. She would be an awful president, and the very fact that she had any movement after that, I was so glad to see Ramaswamy say, really? When you leave here, you're going to be on the board of Boeing, and you're going to be making more millions of dollars. She is a useless politician where it comes to anything that's good for this country. And that shows up when you look at her history. Goes from a 2,000 square foot rental to a 5,000 square foot mansion in less than 2 years.
Just while you're talking about Saudi Arabia.
$5 million.
Yeah, worth bringing up. Over the weekend, they sentenced a man to death for, I think, 5 tweets that he sent out critical of the government. He's going to die for 5 tweets.
Yeah, MBS or nutcase.